Om Shri Sai Ram, Dhyana Vahini by Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba, Chapter 12, The Destruction of Malina Vasana or impure tendency is the best sign of meditation. Those guided by impulses and instincts, that is vasanas, wander about the world like drunkards. Such ones are devoid of discrimination between true and false. The overpowering influence of these vasanas makes them forget the dire consequences of yielding to them. They have no shame or fear, and they simply revel in the search for worldly pleasures, in the accumulation of comforts, and in the sheer enjoyment of luxuries. For those plunged in these vasanas, buddhi or intellect does not function by constant pursuit of sensory pleasures. The vasanas become hardened and they strike deeper and stronger roots. That is why the advice has been given in the Bhagavad Gita to give up the fruit of one's actions. The vasanas become stronger if the fruits are always kept in mind whenever actions are performed. This strengthens their pride and conceit. Such men stoop to even the lowest type of wrongdoing for getting rich and earning the money needed to satisfy them. They start worshipping Mammon as their god. Of course, money is essential, but surplus money that gives worry, anxiety, and pain, should not be desired at all. Besides, men strive to seek being praised from others and avoid being blamed or criticized by others. This too is to be classed as Malina Vasana, impure impulse. The world is a nest of crows, some caw in praise, some caw in derision. But man should be above the reach of praise and blame and wrongdoings. Make light of praise, treat it as something as a spat out. Then only can you be free and enjoy real happiness. And about blame, see how the world has not allowed even the divine forms of Rama, Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva and Baba to escape from its tendency to blame. They talk ill even of the gods, imputing evil motives and actions to those perfect beings. From such foul-minded persons as these, can any consideration be expected towards mere ordinary men? Any excuse is enough for them. The white man hates the black hates the white. The Shaivite scandalizes the Vaishnavite, and the Vaishnavite spreads stories about the Shaivite. Just as everyone loves his own religion, his own native place, and himself, he loves his own methods of worship and forms and ceremonies. This love takes the form of praise of one's own faith and blame of others' faith. Though all this is related to one's relationship with God, such impulses are and must be classed under Malina Vasanas or impure impulses. Such mean attitudes caused by ignorance have to be removed by japam or repetition of the divine name and dhyanam meditation. These spiritual practices fill the heart of man with broad and universal Atma Jnanam or Atmic wisdom, and then the Malina Vasanas or the impure impulses are destroyed and holy Pavitra Vasanas or holy impulses are cultivated. It is indeed a wonder why man fails to put forth all his efforts to overcome or remove the Malina Vasanas, for by following their path he gets only pain, sorrow and agony. The deluding effect of these tendencies and impulses makes him believe and feel that he is on the correct path towards the goal of happiness. That is why he is reluctant to give them up. That explains why he is holding on to them so fast like a leech. I feel that if he reads some good spiritual books, his brain could be cleansed to some extent. The number of scriptures is countless. Time is too short to study all of them, and the obstacles in the path of understanding them are also too many. So, if one can grasp and imbibe the essence of the Shastras or the scriptures, he can move far away from the Malina Vasanas. Of what use is it to pore over silly books or jaw-breaking scriptures or learn about modes of devotion that are not put into action? It is all a wasteful effort. Good things that are learned from books have to be put into practice, at least to an extent. Spending all the time in study apart from practice also deserves to be condemned as Malina Vasana or impure impulse. Listen, Bharadwaja studied the Vedas for 3 successive lives. When born a 4th time, he started reading again. So Indra came to him and taught him the Brahma Vidya or supreme knowledge of Brahman and confided to him the secret of liberation. Then Bharadwaja put an end to his reading and his study and entered upon hard, concentrated meditation. He experienced and realized his true self, that is Atma. Therefore, mere study of books is a purposeless exercise if the essence is not imbibed and practiced. Such Malina Vasana or impure impulse also needs to be transformed to the maximum extent possible. The greed to simply read about all kinds of subjects and topics is itself not a very healthy impulse. Once upon a time, Durvasa, the saint, reached the presence of Lord Shiva with a cartload of religious books. Then Narada compared him to the proverbial donkey. Though one carries the burden of a multitude of books concerning all branches of knowledge, and though he might have read all of them, the teaching contained in them cannot be grasped at all without actual practical experience. Mere pride in learning is itself an impure impulse, classified under scholarly or intellectual impulses. When Durvasa heard such words of advice, he was enlightened. He immediately threw all the bundles of books into the sea and plunged into deep meditation. See how even the great sages too feel that meditation is all important for attaining full knowledge. It is impossible to know the truth of the self, the Atma Jnanam or Atmic wisdom, either through the study of manifold shastras or scriptures, or the acquisition of scholarship, or the sharpening of the intellect, or the pursuit of dialectical discussions. It cannot be realized by these means. Shvetaketu, the son of sage Udalaka, was a great Pandit. One day the father called the son towards him and asked, Shvetaketu, have you understood that scripture by understanding which you will get power to understand everything? The son replied that he did not know of such a scripture and had not learned it. Then Udalaka taught him the unequal scriptures of Brahma Vidya or knowledge of Brahman, which grants one the knowledge of the truth of the Atman. So, man should first grasp clearly the habits and activities of his mind. Then only can he gain mastery over it and try to develop his memory power, willpower, and power of perception or thought power. Waywardness is the natural characteristics of the mind. It is like the wind. That is why Arjuna described it to Krishna thus, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramathi balavadridham tashyam nigraham mane vayor ivasu dushkaram. That is to say, O Krishna, the mind is very wayward. It moves very fast. It is very powerful. It is very difficult to bring it under control. Then Krishna replied, Arjuna, no doubt what you said is correct, but by Nirantara, Rishi, uninterrupted efforts, and by the practice of Vairagya or renunciation, it is possible to control it. Hence, practice Dhyanam or meditation as a first step. Vasanas or impulses and desires, these two have to be eradicated first in order to get mastery over the senses and the mind. Both of these are important pathways. It is the desire that excites the mind and makes it rush towards the senses as a dog runs behind its master. Jiva or individual being, poor thing, falls into the meshes of Maya or illusion, produced by the illusion creating senses in the mind, and thus he undergoes agony. To escape all this agony, one should have recourse to japam or repetition of the divine name, or dhyanam, meditation, and gain mastery over the mind and free oneself from the clutches of desires and slavery to the senses. Then only you can be successful in your efforts to develop your willpower, memory power, and power of perception or thought power. Without dhyanam or meditation, it is not possible to control and master the mind. All other methods are as useless as the attempt to bind a wild elephant in rut by means of a thin, tiny thread. So, issue desires first. Japam and dhyanam are essential to control the senses and to immerse the mind in the Atma. Mind and senses are subdued through dhyanam. Therefore, first completely free yourself from the bondage of desires. Observe this very carefully. Some students and sadhakas or spiritual aspirants reserve a few wants and desires for their private satisfaction, giving up only the rest. Even those householders who are engaged in dharana or concentration and the like find it difficult to give up certain desires. They retain these for their secret satisfaction. So their energies get spent and no progress is achieved in the sadhana or spiritual discipline they are engaged in. These aspirants slide down the ladder they climb so laboriously. To gain control over such unsteadiness of mind, dhyanam or meditation is of great help and is essential. It is not enough if one sense is conquered and all should be mastered. From all sides, this is very essential. It is not enough if one sense is conquered. All should be mastered from all sides. This is very essential. Of course, it is very hard task. You might feel like giving up the entire struggle, but never lose heart. Be patient and persevering, and final success will be yours. Some sadhakas stray away from the path of discipline and do the practices according to their own whims and fancies. Because of this, they do not succeed as much as they hope to, and thus they give up the practices. This is not a good thing to follow. Jai Sai Ram.
Saishwaraya vidmahe satyadevaya dhimahi tanna sarva prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya vidmahe satyadevaya dhimahi tanna sarva prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya vidmahe satyadevaya dhimahi tanna sarva prachodayat. Om